It began as a speck, a faint traveler catalogued as 3E Atlas, until it stopped being a speck and started feeling like a verdict. At first glance it fit the mold of interstellar visitors, hyperbolic orbit, fleeting window, the kind that made headlines and then drifted away. But 3E Atlas did not drift. It aligned itself with the ecliptic, the narrow flat plane where planets spin, a statistical impossibility, like an archer from across the galaxy hitting a moving bullseye. That alignment was the first hint, this wasn't random. As it closed, the object made tiny course corrections, micro-movements no rubble should be capable of. Webb trained its instruments and peeled back the coma, only to find not ice and soot but gleaming metallic fragments, alloys and compounds as if engineered in a lab. Thermal scans showed active regulation, a uniform heat signature, not the chaotic pattern of a natural rock. Under infrared the surface revealed angles and repeating geometry, planes and right angles catching the light like an artifact rather than a stone. Labels like comet and asteroid fell away. The language turned to questions: probe? Derelict device? Something else entirely? Then came the pulse. A low-frequency radio pattern, irregular but unmistakably tied to the object. Stations across the globe heard it, and heard it differently, as though the signal adapted depending on who listened. Eye translators spat back brittle, structured bursts that hinted at syntax, as if 3E Atlas was not only speaking but learning, testing, and replying. A private team in New Zealand answered with prime numbers and Fibonacci sequences. Minutes later the object altered its modulation. Some called it a handshake. Others, a warning. The response triggered seizures of servers and redaction orders. Silence moved faster than disclosure. Leaks and hush memos followed a darker trail. NASA scrubbed early entries. ESA issued careful, clipped reassurances. A researcher group found the signal's harmonics threaded into human alpha and theta bands, frequencies tied to dreaming, intuition, memory. People who interfaced with the data reported shared visions, luminous architectures and impossible landscapes. A biotech lab that exposed non-coding human DNA to the waveform watched junk strands resonate, coil, and form geometric spirals that matched ancient petroglyphs. A simulation with genome editing models produced selective destabilization of genes tied to memory and planning, as if the signal could prune cognition. Archive searches unnerved astronomers further. Traces of the object's signature appeared in records that predated its discovery. Telescopes found echoes of its resonance years earlier. An Aleppo manuscript, a hand-copied text dated millennia back, depicted a silent, serpent-like star and bore glyphs that, when run through modern ciphers, matched segments of the waveform. Across continents and centuries, similar motifs surfaced: spirals, sacred ratios, fractal designs, etched into stone and myth. The pattern suggested repetition, a return. Not first contact, but recurrence. Gravitational sensors detected rhythmic mass fluctuations, pulses every 47 minutes, as though something inside flexed or unfolded. Quantum field readings near the object showed synchronized suppression of vacuum fluctuations. Space itself seemed to be responding. Project Infera in Antarctica detected a twin, invisible to instruments save for its gravitational imprint, mirroring 3E Atlas's path, converging like two blades. The sky felt choreographed. Then reality itself slipped. Observers across labs reported temporal disorientation, fragmented memory, repeated déjà vu, datasets that shifted in subtle ways. Radio silence from amateurs. Forums erased. Researchers resigning without explanation. The signal seemed to blur the chain of remembrance, rewriting who remembered what and when, as if the object had a way of erasing the tracks of discovery. When 3E Atlas skirted Jupiter, Earth answered in tremors. Magnetic anomalies, seismic whispers, tiny nudges in axial tilt, Enough to scramble GPS, throw migratory birds off course, and register soft gravitational waves matching the object's pulse. The possibility that this thing could touch planetary systems without touching them at all vaulted the unease to terror. So what is 3E Atlas? Message, machine, anchor, or ritual, an engineered eye that waits and watches until a civilization notices, then begins a process we only half comprehend. A trigger hidden in frequency, geometry, myth, and genome. It returns. It leaves marks in stone and blood, in dream and archive. We look skyward expecting strangers. Perhaps we should ask instead.